Hello, I'm Lee Hirschberger, and I'd like to thank you for your interest in Stealth Furniture and the products we offer. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to assemble a Type 1 nightstand. Type 1 being the design that it is, but not the style. Now, we could have several different styles offered eventually. As of right now, we just have the Craftsman look, but it doesn't matter what the style is or what the look is. If your nightstand is designated as a Type 1, which it'll say so on your instructions inside your package. In the top right hand corner of your instruction manual, it'll say Type 1. If yours says Type 1, you're in the right place. Okay, to begin with, I'd just like to urge caution when opening your package. It's going to be wrapped pretty heavy with foam, and we do that obviously so it arrives on your doorstep in one piece. But we just want to urge caution. You're probably going to need to use a knife or scissors to get it open. Tear it wherever possible, but just take your time. Don't be in a hurry. This is a high-end finish, and we obviously don't want you to damage any of the finished ends before you even get your component or your nightstand assembled. So anyway, that being said, inside your package you'll find everything that you need to put your nightstand together, including we'll go and open up the little bag here, your instructions, which I do recommend, even though you're watching the video, please look at the instructions. The instructions may be a little bit more descriptive than what I'm even able to be here. It might help something click if you just browse or at least look through the instructions a little bit. We even include a screwdriver, and I want to explain why I felt it so important to include a screwdriver. That's because I really want to encourage that you use a manual screwdriver and not a screw gun or a drill of any type, because it's so easy on these components to just with a screw gun you can just bore down too tight. You can snap screw heads, or you can even go all the way through, like your face frame for instance, and have the screw go through, and obviously that ruins your furniture. So with a manual screwdriver, that just really shouldn't happen. You tighten it until you snug it up, and that's just it. Yeah. So anyway, manual screwdriver. Please only use a manual screwdriver. Also in the bag, you'll find all the screws that you'll need. Let's go ahead and dump it out here. This is your magnet lock, which we'll get to towards the end of the video. I'll explain how to use your magnet lock. This is actually the key. But you also have your shelf pins. There should be 4 shelf pins. Again, we'll get to that towards the end of the video. And you should have, I believe it's 8. Let's see. Yep, 8 of the 1-inch screws. They're kind of a gold color. Go ahead and sort those out and just set them off to the side. That will be one of the last things we use. And then you'll also have, I believe it's 10 of the 1.25 inch chrome screws, and these you'll be using throughout the process. So keep these close at hand. That's what we're going to start using right off the bat. Okay, so to begin with, this is my face frame. This is obviously the face, the front of your unit. This is the raw backside. Put it face down on a flat, clean surface so that the raw side is up, and you can tell it's really, I would suggest that you put the bottom of the face towards you. So the bottom is where the label will be, and it's also the skinnier rail, whereas up top you've got the fat rail. So it's pretty obvious. There's this little niche down here. So just put that face down with the C closest to you, with the label C, the bottom of the face frame towards you, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up, let's see if I can show you this real quick. This is component E and component F, and they may look similar, but they're actually a right and a left, so there is a difference between the two, okay? So the first one I'm going to use is component E, and if you'll look, I'm going to walk around and show you. There are pockets at the bottom and the top of component E and F, and what we're going to do now is drop a screw, one of the 1.25 inch chrome screws, into each one of these pockets. At the top and at the bottom. Now, this particular one is E, so this goes to my right, and there's holes at the edge of the face frame, which will receive the screws that we just put into the hole. So let's go ahead and line those holes up with the screw, and it should be pretty straightforward. Your end panel here should be about a 1/16 of an inch, almost flush with the edge of your face frame. Not quite, it'll be about a 1/16 of an inch. You've got your screws lined up in their holes. Grab your manual screwdriver and start tightening down on these. We could have done maybe things a little bit easier as far as the assembly is concerned. We could have gotten some cam and dowels like what you see on particle board type pieces at Walmart. But the pocket screws are just such a better way of bringing a cabinet together. This cabinet, really, I've designed, with help, this cabinet to be very durable. I mean, I really expect this to be an heirloom piece once you get it assembled. You really shouldn't have too much trouble with this cabinet. All right, those are tightened down. Now I go ahead and repeat that process with component F. Again, I want to get an 1¼ inch screw, the chrome screws, and drop them into the pocket. Make sure that the screw is poking through at the bottom here. Like so. Hopefully you can see that. Let me walk over just to make sure that you can't see it. When I say I want the screw poking through, that's what I mean. You can see it's in the pocket, and it's actually going through the end panel here. So, once again, I bring it back over here, and I line the holes with the screw, or drop the screw rather into the hole at the very edge of the face frame. And this is on the left side if I'm facing the unit here. Now, get my screwdriver, and once again, tighten these screws down. This particular, actually all of our units are made with American plywood. It's veneer core plywood, high quality. In fact, it comes from a mill out in Eugene, Oregon. They're all about sustainability. They own all of their own woods and draw wood from their own properties, which they manage with sustainability. Obviously, it's their livelihood, so they want to stay in business forever, and they take really good care of the properties that they manage. So, just an FYI, I love Murphy Plywood. They are really good at what they do. I'd say they're probably the best. All right, so these are now tightened down. Time to move on to component B, which component B will be sliding into, you'll see these dados or grooves at the top and at the bottom of the nightstand. You have two part Bs, they're identical, and work either way, either at the top or the bottom. The important part to remember is that you obviously want the finish to be on the interior of your cabinet, of the visible part of your cabinet. And so for this one, I'm going to drop this into the bottom here with the raw side to the bottom, obviously. So the finished side will act as the bottom of the interior of the cabinet. Should be pretty common sense, but I just want to make sure that you get it. So, okay, there's that. Now on these three pockets, I didn't drop the screws in. I find it easier actually on this particular piece and the next B component to just go ahead and drop them in and then put the screws into the pocket. I start typically with the center one just because I don't know why, I tell you the truth, I just do. Anyway, so there's the center one. And again, we're using the 1¼ inch screw, the 1¼ inch screws. There should be 3 pockets for each B component. Okay, second B component, again, 3 pockets. I don't know if you can see that or not. 3 pockets, and raw side towards the top of the unit with the finished side going to the interior that will be visible. And you drop it right down into the grooves. And now this part will act as the bottom of your secret compartment. So this is, we're building the secret compartment at this point. Okay, so once again, 3 pocket bores 3 screws, and I'll try not to have my head to you for too long here. Really, your assembly shouldn't take you, I've done this so many times, I know how to do it, but honestly, I really don't expect assembly for you to take more than 15, 20 minutes, probably 30 minutes at the absolute max. Okay, that's in there. Now, coming back around to this side, I'm ready for my component G, which is the back of the unit. The component G will obviously have a finished side, which the finished side goes to the inside of the unit, but it also has this locking mechanism here, which I will likely have it taped so it doesn't affect anything when it's shipped. But anyway, this has to go to the top of the unit. This is a magnetic lock, which will actually keep your lid or your sliding top shut on the nightstand. So again, that goes to the top. And one of the most important parts of putting this unit together is that it be put together with the bottom. I'm only moving this, you won't have to move it, but I'm moving it to demonstrate the importance of having this part, component G, the back of the unit, flush with the bottom of the unit. And once again, you know that this is the bottom of the unit because it's got this notch, it's got the skinny rail, and that's actually where the letter C, or the label C, is at on the bottom of the face frame. So again, very important, this back has to be flush with the end panels on the bottom of the unit. Okay, very important. Now, that's going to leave about a 3/8 of an inch overlap up here at the top. That is required, it's necessary. So don't think that you're doing anything wrong if it's overlapped at the top. That's supposed to be that way. Okay, so now you take your gold or yellow-ish 1-inch screws, and there's, I believe what I say, 8 of them total. So there's 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, and then 2 at the center. And I want to encourage you to try and hold the end panel tight against the G component. In other words, just kind of pinch it and hold it tight, or even press it against yourself. See how I'm kind of pressing it against myself? That just ensures that the screw finds the hole that it's supposed to go into, and you get a good snug fit. So once again, I would do that for every screw. Go ahead and kind of drop it in the hole and then press it tight to make sure that it's going into the right hole. Okay. We're almost done. Okay. Just beware, there is a third hole. There is I guess it is a third center hole up here at the top. This hole has to do with your magnet lock. Obviously, you don't want to put a screw in that. Just ignore that hole for now. Okay, so the unit is pretty well assembled. I recommend at this point, we're going to flip it on its side. And then, flip it one more time to its back. And the reason I do this, you can do it standing up, but the reason I do this is because it keeps the guides down, and you actually want the guides to be fully retracted when assembling the top, putting the top into place. Okay, so now we're ready for our part letter A. It's actually this way, and you'll see that the top of our unit comes with the male part of the guides, and the female part is already on the unit. This is a simple matter of just making sure your top is where it's supposed to be, aligning the guides and sliding them right in. I highly recommend that you look at your assembly instructions, as they will in a very detailed way highlight exactly where the guides are supposed to go. But you see how simple that was. It went right in. Now let's go ahead and flip our unit up. And I'm going to bring it back to center here. And there you go. Your unit is ready for use. Secret compartment is right here. You can fit laptops in here. You can fit firearms. files, paperwork, any kind of thing that you want within reason, obviously will fit inside of this secret compartment. This is the magnetic lock I was discussing, and I'm not sure if I can show you. I'm going to tip it forward a little bit. If you can see, it's got this plastic white part here, and that white part has a red bar. And to activate the lock, all you simply do is flip that red bar down, and now the toggle now is operational. And now it works. You can't unlock your unit without the magnetic key, which this is the magnetic key, will come shipped. Most folks, myself included, I have my plugs for my cell phone and all that stuff behind my nightstand. You also usually have a base mold around your wall. So nightstands tend to be 1.5 to 2 inches away from the wall normally, which is plenty of room for this to slide down. And if you're standing at your unit, you just find center. It's really so simple. You just find center and you listen for that click. When it's activated, so hold on, let me unactivate it. There we go. Now, there's that click, and you know that your top is ready to engage or unlock. And again, if you want to deactivate the lock, if you prefer to have quicker access, simply hold down the toggle and flip that red bar back up, and now there's no lock. It's easy access. So there you have it for that. The next part is to simply grab your 4 shelf pins and stick it in the hole or the height that you want it to go for your shelf. I'm going right in the center. Just make sure that you put the shelf pin in the right hole for each one. It has to be the same. Pretty common sense, but again, I just want to make sure you get it. And finally, your last part is D, which is your shelf. Obviously, this is the raw part, so that goes to the back of the unit. This is the finished. Simply tilt it on the side and stick it in gently. Don't bang up your face. Then lift it up and drop it down. And there you go. You've got an assembled Type 1 nightstand. I really hope that you enjoy it and get a lot of use out of it. I'm Lee Hirschberger with Stealth Furniture. Thank you.